Jaya Gaura Hare.
Welcome to another episode of TwoMuchWise.
This is the Gita Expedition series where we explore the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, verse by verse and chapter by chapter.
All that we discuss here is what we've heard from perfected teachers and spiritualists from the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. None of this is our own analysis.
If you're here for the first time, then we recommend that you watch the warm-up series of the Bhagavad Gita where we introduce some concepts of the Gita for the first time.
This episode is better heard than watched. You can hear it while taking a walk, while driving, cooking, or even walking out.
We've had a lot of fun recording this, and we hope that it's an enriching experience for all of you as well. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're reading today from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shlok number 4 to shlok number 6. 4 in Sanskrit, and then 4 to 6 will be read in English. 2.4 Arjuna Vacha Katam Bhishmam Maham Sankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujaraha Varisudana. Translations. Arjun said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? 2.5 It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they're superiors. If they're killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. 2.6 Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they're now standing before us on the battlefield. Whew.
Chai, heavy shlokas by Arjuna. He's saying heavy things. He's saying that how can I kill these men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? He's in this dilemma. It's almost like a culmination of his dilemma, and breaking it down, he's like, "Isse अच्छा तो मैं भीख मांग लूं." And that I think is the high note of these shlokas, where he is considering begging instead of just fighting the war, and that shows the psyche of Arjun right now. But it also involves a lot of philosophical points that we'll talk about in this session. But yeah, that's the point: begging instead of fighting. Which is better?
Yeah. Actually, Arjun has giving again very nice arguments, and also in these three shlokas, somehow his character is very visible. I'll give you one example. In these three
Correct.
shlokas,
Yeah.
he's saying that first of all, he's talking about Bhishma and Drona, who are his teachers, right? Who mean everything to
Yeah.
him. He's saying, although
Yeah.
they've done wrong, he in text 5, he's saying,
Hmm.
even though they're desiring worldly gain, these are his
Yeah.
teachers, and one of the teachers, which is Dronacharya, is a Brahman. He's not supposed to desire worldly gain,
Yeah.
right? Even
Correct.
Bhishma Dev, he's a pious man. He should not be doing something unlawful, something immoral, something that he's not supposed to
Yeah.
do for worldly gains. So Arjun is admitting that
Right.
yes, they're desiring worldly gains. They're wrong. He's saying they're wrong. I agree, but
Yeah.
still they are my
Yeah.
superiors. So as you
Yeah.
said, it's a dilemma. It's a dilemma. He
Yeah.
knows they're not right, but they're his superiors,
Yeah.
and he's feeling
Yeah.
weakness of heart. In the last episode, we discussed a bit of weakness of heart. He's feeling that
Yeah.
petty weakness of heart here.
Correct. Yeah. And here we see, as you said so nicely, Prabhu, that he's feeling this dilemma, and dilemma is between two things. There's a confusion, right? There are two sides of him, and one side of him is right now a lot more active than the other, and that side is Arjuna, the son Arjuna, the grandson Arjuna, the disciple. That part, the personal aspect of Arjuna is highly activated right now, and hence he's saying, ठीक है यार, उन्होंने बुरा किया, yeah, yes, they did something wrong, like they are standing on the wrong side, maybe for the wrong reasons, but so what, there are my superiors. And on a personal side, that is correct, right? Like if your father, grandfather, your teachers, they fine, they do something which is not very lawful, maybe you tell them, maybe you respectfully point it out to them, but you never disrespect them, you never put them down. Yeah, and that aspect of it is
Yeah.
correct. That aspect is of it is correct. But the other side, Arjuna as a kshatriya, Arjuna as a warrior, Arjuna as the protector of dharma, that part is a little diminishing right now. This is the dilemma in Arjuna's heart. This is the confusion, that what to do and what not to do. They're my elders, these are his values, right? That you have to you have to really respect your elders, you have to understand them, protect them, listen to them. That's the value system by which he has been brought up, and now that itself is playing on his
Yeah.
head.
And that value system of elders versus the value
Yeah.
system of protecting the right thing, the dharma, these two value
Mm.
systems are at conflict right now. And as you said,
Yeah.
right, he's more towards this side. He's more towards the side of
Correct.
how can I do something wrong, bad to my superiors.
Yeah.
What
Yes. Yes.
what the acharyas are explaining in the purports is a
Yeah.
lot about just to support what Arjun right now feels is more valuable, which is not going against his
Mm.
superiors. He's willing to renounce
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the importance which he's giving to his values.
Right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, there
Correct.
used to be a saying, I've heard it from my elders. There used to be a saying, which went something like, if you lose wealth, you lose nothing. If you lose health, you
Mm.
lose something. If you lose
Yeah.
character and values, you lose everything. But now it's
Yeah.
kind of the other way around.
Yeah.
If you lose
Yeah.
character, you don't really lose
Yeah.
anything. If you lose health,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
fine.
you lose something. But if you lose wealth, you lose
Correct.
everything. So
Yeah.
this can be a little
Yeah.
difficult to relate to if you put yourselves
Yeah.
in the shoes of a contemporary warrior or a contemporary businessman. It's about acquisition, it's about conquering, it's about go get them. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter who they are. If
Yeah.
you deserve it, you get it, right? But here it's
Yes.
something else.
Yeah. This is these are such nitty gritties, Prabhu, that you're bringing out, and the more you get into the micro, the more messy it gets. Like I am feeling like no, I don't want to get it. Like I don't want to touch these things. Like things अरे नहीं लड़ना है, like you have to fight, that whole resolve even in my head is right now getting messy once you get into these nitty gritties, right? And that's exactly what Arjun's state is, that he's getting to all these things, and these are my elders, these are my teachers, these are my grandfather, how can I fight them, and all of that, all these nitty gritties, as you said, the character versus health, wealth, equations, once you get into them it gets so messy. It's so funny what Krishna says at the end, makes it so simplified at the end of the Gita. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I just came to my head that Krishna means to simplify everything for Arjun from this messy state of mind till the most simplified version which he can apply at every single point of
Yeah.
his life, as like a lens, that okay, see it through this lens, now you can see it
Yeah.
properly, see it through this lens, now you can
Yeah.
see it
Yeah.
properly. From this point onwards begins the real progression of that clarity of thought, and I am very excited to go through this like journey of untangling these wires and getting into that
Yeah.
clear
So, from a
vision of
broader lens, you're saying that Arjun is really confused because of the nitty gritties.
huh.
There is a
Yeah,
decision he
yeah,
has to make. He cannot make. Both sides seem wrong.
yeah,
Both sets of sorry, both sides seem right. Both sets of value systems seem right. That's what we sort of deal with
yeah,
every day, right? I
yeah,
get caught by the traffic police. Uh, he's okay taking
yeah,
some cash from me. Uh,
yeah,
the fine is exorbitant. Should I pay that cash? should
yeah,
I not pay that cash? Morally speaking, why should I pay
yeah,
that cash? Practically speaking, why shouldn't I
yeah,
pay that cash? So these small things. We
yeah,
actually face these at small or big levels every day.
yeah,
But you're saying from here on, Krishna will start to speak, and Krishna gives like one principle at the end, which helps you
yeah.
in all these decision makings throughout life.
The beauty is, Prabhu, that this example that you gave of the traffic police person, practically speaking, obviously we can be idealists and say, oh, why do you have to pay a bribe? Don't break the rule and you'll be fine. Don't break the rule and you'll be fine. But practically speaking, idealism of one extreme kind also doesn't work, because many times there are situations when maybe you haven't done anything wrong, but you have to get out of
Yeah.
a situation. What are you going to do if you stick to your idealism? It
Yeah.
backfires.
Yeah.
Many
Yeah.
times it
Yeah. Yeah.
backfires. We've seen so many instances. Keep to your left. There's an example. There's a cartoon that I saw. Keep to your left. Okay, that is one principle, that one ideal that one person really held sacred to him. Okay, had keep to your left. He went to a mountain trail, and then there was only one little small little road there. Okay, only one person can come. Yeah, and it goes like this. You have to keep to your right. So, and the other person's coming from the front. What is he going to do? And there he's like, I have to keep to my left. What he did was he turned ulta and he started walking backwards, because like I have to keep to my left. So if you're really idealist, what happens is sometimes it becomes impractical also if you're very rigid. A practical, pragmatic worldview where all these things are reconciled and yet everybody is benefited on an absolute level. That is the master plan, masterpiece that Bhagavad Gita offers, that the song of
Yeah.
Krishna
So
really
Arjun,
offers.
right now, is that idealist maybe that you're talking about? And
Yes,
Krishna is
yes,
going to give him the
yeah,
master plan.
yes,
There's
yeah,
another aspect that I want to talk about, which is how Arjun so comfortably says, I'm willing to beg. He's the king,
yeah,
he's the emperor. Look at the riches, right? Look at the palace he had, look
yeah,
at the kingdom he had, look at the fame he had, look at the subjects, the
yeah,
resources he had at his disposal. He's like, I don't care. My values matter more. I'm going to
yeah,
leave it all. How it's so easy
yeah,
to just give up everything.
yeah.
So
Actually, it's very difficult, as you said. अगर हम हमें भी कोई someone says, go back on the street. अरे, even to make a cold call, just to make a cold call on a sales call, you feel so awkward, calling someone, asking them, and you get rejected. How can a king like Arjun, he's agreeing to becoming a beggar? Such a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. In one sense, it is very noble of him and very courageous of him, that he's saying all these things. In fact, it is commendable. Krishna, we can half expect Krishna to tear up and start clapping and then say, Ki, Arjun, dil jeet liya aapne, like just but he does something very different. We'll see. But yeah, like on one side, yeah, even Srila Prabhupada is saying good things about Arjun in some ways, that like this is the character of a devotee also, that you can renounce things also. You're not attached to things, and that's what Arjun was. No, if you see Arjun, he's not attached to his kingdom. Not once did he say big kingdom chahiye, this chahiye. All those things Duryodhan did. Pandavas never did those things. They're not in this war because they want that kingdom. And this shows that, reflects that. But there's another side also to it. As a kshatriya, as we are comparing these two things, as a kshatriya, you're not allowed to beg. You're not allowed to
yeah.
beg.
So that means that makes begging for Arjuna even worse than a normal guy begging.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
It's more extreme. Like it's
It's even
yeah,
more
it's like Shah
extreme.
Rukh
Yeah.
Khan begging.
It's
Just
not
like
norm.
to give
It's
some context, it's like Shah
yeah.
Rukh Khan begging. It's not like me begging. Okay, fine, maybe Shah
Correct.
Rukh Khan begging. Oh,
Yeah, it's actually he'd become an outcast, because he'd become, people, you see that in the current situation scenarios as well. Obviously it's a distorted version of what was happening in those times, but if you do things which are not considered noble for your family's name, your whole family or your the community makes you an
yeah.
outcast. no, this person did something out of their boundaries, so they're outcast. Just like that, Arjun, for this is something that could have made him an outcast, because he's not allowed to. I don't know how to really express this. He's not allowed to, in the sense that that option is only not there, not because it is demeaning, not because it is demeaning, but are, how dare you, you're a kshatriya, how dare you become a burden on the society, how
Yeah.
dare you, you do something, you have an able body, able mind, you've been trained, you've been skilled, you've been given an education, do something with it, don't become a burden on society, like that kind of
Okay. So
thinking
so
basically.
so Arjun is wanting to pursue what he thinks is the right
Yeah.
path, what he values
Hanji.
so much that he's willing to go to
Yeah.
this extreme, where he'll
Extent.
become an
Yeah.
outcast, where he'll be, you know, he will have no face to show. Right? He's willing to go that way. So
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
first principle
Yeah.
questioning here: why do values matter
Yeah.
so much? Like
Yeah.
like honestly,
Yeah.
I'm not here to preach. Okay, I'm not saying this is right, this is wrong. The broader question
Yeah.
is, why in the Vedic times were values so important, and that's not the case
Yeah.
today. So some first
Yeah.
principle questioning: why were values so important? The thought, when I was thinking and churning
Hmm.
around this, the thought that came to my head was, it's
Hmm.
because at that time spiritual education was education. And when you're
Yeah.
spiritually educated, you understand you're the spirit. When you understand you're the spirit,
Yeah.
you understand it's not about enjoying this life, it's a longer journey. There is change in bodies. And even if you
Yeah.
don't bring in the existence of God, you don't bring in theism, just knowing that you're a spirit who is changing bodies, you start thinking long term and then value.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
like, okay, if I'll be a good person, if I'll do the right thing, I'm going to have, I'm going to enter nice bodies, going to have,
Yeah.
get birth in a nice family, get riches.
Yeah.
So just spiritual education without God also, because all, all the
Yeah.
Vedas don't speak about God, but just
Yeah.
that bit of Vedic education makes you look at the bigger picture, and then suddenly values come in because you start thinking more lives, karma, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. It's a deeper science, actually. It's a deeper science because it penetrates the level of the body and goes on the level of the mind, and even if you go deeper, then it goes on the level of the soul, consciousness, soul, and body basically. It's a deeper science. We've lost out on it, but as you said, Prabhu, we've lost out on it, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You so rightly said that even if you don't account for God or anything like that, people of demonic
Yeah.
mentalities, people of materialistic mentalities only, material gain mentality only, they also use these tools, basically use this science. For example, we see Duryodhan also doing yagya and charity and all of that, albeit with very different intentions. Then you see, I mean, this is a different story, but demons also doing a lot of tapasya. You see a lot of them doing yagyas and all of that. So they're using these different sciences to do this. But you spoke about values. Ki why are values important? I just wanted to see कि आज के time में if this is actually important. Values, values are valued even now. You know that everybody wants their kid to be a nice person. Everybody wants their kid to be kind and truthful and obedient and all of that. But are we, like, when we it comes to us, maybe we are or we
Yeah.
are not. But everybody wants their kid to be person with values, person with character. It's lost its value because it can't be monetized, and our whole value system is now based on money. Hence we like it, we see it as a good thing. It's a heartful nice thing. He's such a nice person, he's a very nice person, but that's about it. He's a nice person, that's about it. It's not valued and taught and actually actioned upon, in the sense that I need to have good values in my life because it can't be monetized. That's where the shift, I think, has happened, Prabhu.
Yeah,
That back then, the values were valued more because character mattered so much. Because you see, it's not just about
yeah,
this life. Money is
yeah,
about just
yeah,
this life, but they were thinking
yeah,
long term.
yeah,
Consciousness carry forward only.
yeah,
So they were thinking long term, but right now we're thinking
yeah,
short term because we've lost the
yeah,
deeper science.
exactly.
Hence, we're giving only value to those things which can be
Yeah.
monetized.
It's about
That's what.
now, here and now, this
Yeah,
life, YOLO.
correct.
I've got only 70 years.
Yeah,
I want to maximize it. I
yeah,
want to make the best of it. But spiritual education starts
yeah.
with the fact that it's not about this life. This is a very
It's not about this.
small
Yeah,
sentence in a large, large, large book of lives.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just basic spiritual
yeah.
education gives you value. So if you're
Yes.
listening to this,
Makes us value values actually.
yes, if you're listening to this and you're a
Yeah,
parent, this is what spiritual education can do to your kid. So here is a sales pitch from us.
yeah,
If you give your kids some spiritual education, the kid starts to understand
yeah,
eventually with time that it's not going to be only about this life, it's more than this life. Forget God, we're not even bringing in
yeah,
God or religion right now.
yeah,
Just common sense, first principle thinking of how we're not only this body, what will happen after death, how we will move on, how we've come from some other place. Just knowing this makes the kid value things more than just money. And as you start valuing character more than
yeah,
money, you start thinking like Arjun.
yeah. Actually, people like good character, Prabhu, but it's becoming harder and harder, I think, to develop good character, and becoming harder. The why should I have good character? Like, it's not doing me any good. People not seeing that it's not, they're not seeing any value in you only to be in a being good person. People say this. I know that you also have heard it. I've also heard it. People come and say that, Prabhu, we all know that good people banna bahut zaruri. We need to be good people. This whole world just they just chew us out.
Yeah,
They exploit us if we become good person. Hence, I don't want to become a good person. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
about
but
it. It's become
but the
harder.
same people, Prabhu, with time, as they get knowledge, right, they start getting some
Yeah,
acceptance of
of
some
course.
actually.
Yeah, that's where it
So,
changes.
so with time, they're like, okay, okay, I understand the world doesn't work this way, but it's good for
Yeah,
me to work this way. In the long
yes.
term, I will benefit.
Going against the grain of the world, it makes it worth going against the grain of the
Yeah,
world. Makes it worth the
yeah,
effort. This knowledge helps us understand
yeah.
that.
Okay, I think
Yeah,
that's a good note to close on. Anything else? Any other
yeah.
thoughts, or should we call it a day?
Another thought I had was, in all of these things. I know Krishna's thoughts are still going to come in. He's going to talk about all of these things, but I think what helps in all of these things is just to have that idea that there is someone up there, and not in a way of fear, not in the way of desire that I'll be punished, or if I'm good then I'll get something. He's not Santa Claus. Let's not equate him with Santa Claus, but just the idea that if I develop these qualities and I just connect with God, if I'm doing the right things for the right reasons, then I guess that is my key to happiness. That is when I actually will feel happy. This basic principle of character leading to good character leading to happiness, I guess, is what the takeaway is mostly.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're saying in that spiritual education without God, if you bring in God, then actually pursuing value
yeah,
becomes uh,
yeah.
blissful. It becomes nice. It becomes
Natural,
natural. It isn't as difficult.
more
Yeah,
natural. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And we'll
yeah,
talk more about it in the shlokas to come.
yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah.
See you
Thank
for
you,
the
Prabhu.
next one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Go